welcome back to my channel. And in this video we're going to be drawing this awesome sunset landscape in Procreate and an app which is completely free. The free app will be called iARTBOOK, so make sure if you don't have Procreate and you want a free digital art app, you can just download iARTBOOK. And yeah, so make sure you go follow my Instagram and go follow my Pinterest. There's not any content on Pinterest, but it's coming. And also make sure you go check out my website at stickartist.com. Okay guys, so for this tutorial we're going to be starting with our monoline brush through calligraphy, and we're going to be going over to the first color in the color palette. This color palette is available in the description, so make sure you get it. And color it a little bit on the top. Then take the second color and make more lines. Don't leave any white areas. Now take the third color and make more lines. Now go to Gaussian blur and get it to about 38%. Now we're going to go on the selection tool. Actually, first we're going to add another layer. We're going to go on the selection tool, select rectangle and make a rectangle that covers the bottom area. This will be our ocean. We're going to fill the rectangle with drying our color, and there we go. Now we have an ocean as well. Now for the next part, we're going to be going over to the element section and selecting oceans. Then we'll go in the second line. There are various colors that you can use for your ocean, like this. What I advise is to be using a small stroke on the top and larger strokes on the bottom. This just shows better camera angle. Now we can go over to different colors and experiment a little bit. There is also a white here that you can use, but make sure you don't use a lot of it because water isn't white. And don't make the brush too small because that doesn't give a very natural effect. And yeah, just add a little bit of white and different colors. You can experiment with that. You can also experiment with the opacity and the sizes of the brush. I am going to be using this turquoise, but I'm going to be using it with a very light opacity. So if you use that turquoise, make sure the opacity is very light, because that won't give a very natural effect if used without turning down the opacity. Now that we're done, we're going to give some highlights in the water by using the second, the third, and the last and the fifth color. So first, make sure the brush size and the opacity is turned down in this. I'm gonna be going zigzag a little bit. Let's use the second color. There we go. Also, I'm sorry for not showing you how I'm doing this. Actually, I cracked my screen a few days ago and I can't exactly film that because that won't be clear. So that's why I'm screen recording it and showing you how to do this. So now that we're done with the highlights, I'm just also gonna put some more orange. Turn up the opacity. Now we're going to be using the monoline brush and making the sun. Make sure you turn the brush size to 15%. Make a circle it into place. I'm gonna be making it a little smaller so it fits better with the sunset. Okay, so now make sure that your circle is another layer, because we need to add some effects to it, which won't look good if it's not in the same layer. If it's in the same layer, I'm gonna move it into place, and now we're gonna add the effect. So we're gonna go into the effects section and we're gonna click on bloom. We're gonna turn it all the way up, and now we have a pretty sun. Now that we're done, I realized that I don't exactly have the best highlights in the ocean, so I'm going to be adding some more elements and the ocean. Now that we're done with our scenery, you can also add birds and everything, but I actually like it much more without the birds, so I didn't add any. But yeah, so that was the tutorial. You can modify it, and yeah. So now I'm gonna be showing you how to do this if you don't have the Procreate app, and I'm going to be doing it on a free version. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. So now we're going to do the tutorial in an app that is free. So, and yes, this wallpaper is available on my Instagram, so make sure you go get it. Now let's go on to our next app, which is completely free. Go over to new image and select A4 or basic size. I usually use A4, so we're gonna go on A4. And I have created this brush which was not already available in the app, so you can get it in, and the link is in the description. So yeah, so first of all, we're going to be using our color palette to make doing the exact same way we did it in Procreate. Okay guys, so we're gonna go on the first color in the color palette. Yeah, this is the first color. So we're gonna use the brush that we created just now. And the one problem with this brush is that when you turn the size up too much, it starts to basically like become a little hazy. So we don't want that, so that's why I'm using a very small size. Now we're gonna go on the second color, do the same thing. And then go over to the last color. Make sure you don't leave any white spaces in between. Now go over to the three dots, select FX, and blur radius. Take the blur radius over to 65.7, approximately 65. When you make sure you click on apply, otherwise it won't actually apply. Select. Okay, this one is completely optional, but if you want to do this, go on three dots and select on transform. Click on transform, and then you can increase the size so that there is more space. Now in the selection tool in this doesn't exactly work the same way as Procreate, so we're not gonna use the selection tool for the water, and I'm gonna use my brush instead. If you have shaky hands, I recommend using the shapes tool and the three dots. It will make your line straight. Now we're gonna go on another layer, because yeah, and we're gonna click on the second color. Now we're going to be making the water, and like I told in my Procreate tutorial, you have to be experimenting with these colors a lot for the water and the opacity and the sizes of the brush. So I recommend using small sizes on the top and large sizes on the bottom. So yeah, make sure you use different colors to do this. And I recommend turning down the opacity a lot for the turquoises because that wouldn't look very natural. This doesn't exactly work exactly the same as Procreate, but it works much better than other apps out there for digital art. So I definitely recommend this app for doing digital art. And yeah, this is my water, which is done. It looks quite natural actually. I'm going to turn down the size and add some highlights with the white. Don't use huge sizes for this because water isn't white and the highlight won't exactly look like a highlight. Now for the last part of the water, I'm going to be highlighting it with the second, third and the fifth color. So turn up the size a little bit, turn down the opacity and go zigzag. As I told in my Procreate tutorial, my screen has actually cracked, so I would not be able to show you how I'm doing it because on the camera the screen looks really bad and you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So that's why I'm just showing you guys the screen recording. I'm gonna go zigzag this way, and yeah, now the highlights are also done. Another feature that this app doesn't have and Procreate does have is the bloom tool in the effects section. So I'm actually not going to be using that. So I'm going to be going on the brush. Make sure you turn down the size and selecting the fifth color. I'm going to go on to the shapes from here and make a circle. Click on align and then click on the move tool then click on the move tool to move it. You can even size it and move it. Now you can click on the brush to come out of the moving thing and drop the color in the sun. Click on yes. Now we're done. So we're going to duplicate this layer and we're going to go over to this layer, we're going to be going on effects and blurring the radius. Now after blurring the radius, make sure you click apply because otherwise it won't work. Then duplicate the layer a couple times and you're done. This was the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed making this sunset landscape in Procreate and iARTBOOK. Make sure you like, subscribe and turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.